Okay, good evening, everyone. We're here for the regular council meeting of May 20th. We'll do quick introductions and then jump right into it. When it comes to public hearings, I will give the rules on how the public hearings work. So we have in-person Councillor Joel Lemoine.
Bonsoir tout le monde.
Councillor Shane Pelletier.
Good evening.
CEO Shane Ray.
Hello.
Myself, Chris Ewan. Councillor Jeanne Belanger.
Good evening.
Councillor Jason Bondarchuk. Good evening. Assistant CEO Dominic Lemoine.
Good evening.
And that is it here. We will get right into it. So item number 1, meeting call to order. Do I have a mover? Councillor Bondarchuk, second. Councillor Lemoine. Anything before we open the meeting? Nothing. Call for the question. Those in favor? Opposed? None. That's carried. Open the meeting at 7:01 p.m. Item number 2, adoption of the agenda. Do I have a mover? Councillor Belanger, second. Councillor Pelletier. Any changes? Good as is. Thank you. Call for the question. Those in favor? Opposed? None. That's carried. And any declarations of interests for tonight's meeting, council? Nothing. Okay, moving on. Adoption of the minutes, item 4. Do I have a mover? Councillor 1, second. Councillor Belanger, thank you. We have the May 5th, 2026 regular council meeting minutes. Council's reviewed. Any questions in regards pertaining to the minutes, edits, changes? Call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? None. That's carried. Thank you. Delegations, presentations tonight, none. Public hearings. Okay, we have a couple public hearings tonight. So the way the public hearings go at the municipality, Rich Shot as chair, I will call the item number and then CEO will have a quick read on that. After that, I'll ask anyone that wanted to make the presentation on behalf of the specific application, a presenter or the applicant, to come up. At that time, they have 10 minutes to do their presentation. If they're online, they can do it online. After that, I'll ask anyone wishing to speak in favor in person. At that time, you would come up, you'd raise your hand, I'd call you up, you'd come sit on that hot seat there, and you would sign in your name and your address. And then you would be given 10 minutes max. That is the allotted time that we have for each presentation or speaker. Then we will go into anyone wishing to speak in favor online or on the phone. If you're online or on the phone, unmute your microphone or your speaker. You can turn on your video if you're online and you have sufficient data. That's fine. You don't have to turn it on if it's not working. And then you would have your 10 minutes. And then we'll go into anyone wishing to speak against in person. Same procedure. Raise your hand. I'll call you up. You'll come. You'll sign in, name and address, and then you'll be given 10 minutes. Same thing online on the phone. Again, same procedure, 10 minutes. And then I will do one last call. Anyone wishing to speak in favor or against or ask any general questions or comments. You might not be against something or in favor. You just want to know a little bit more. That's the time to do that. And then I will close the public hearing at X time. And after that, it is no more engagement from council to the gallery or to the gallery to council. It's for council's engagement and discussion to make their debate. And then we will vote on said item. And that's it. So without further ado, 6.1.1 conditional use C7 2026 583 McConnell Lane, Grand Point.
Don and Sherry Chartier have made application to allow a home-based business consisting of administrative duties for definitive ledger bookkeeping in a rural residential zone. And this is a conditional use under our current zoning bylaw.
Thank you. I will open the public hearing at 7:04 p.m. Is there someone here wanting to make a presentation? Why not?
Good evening. My name is Sherry Chartier. I just like to put forward that I'm opening this business, that it will not impede traffic. I won't have clients coming and attending our house. It's strictly online. And yeah, that's all I have.
Excellent. Council, any questions?
Just if you can sign the paper.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. All good. I just assumed she would be applicants. Yeah.
All right, yes.
Nothing from council?
Just a question, asking for a friend. Is that, is it bilingual service by any chance?
I am English,
Yeah.
but my partner is French. So, and also my husband is French. So I do rely on him
Okay.
for those French services. So I am able to help in that
Sure.
way.
Open to referrals then?
I'm open to referrals.
Okay,
Thank you
there
so
you
much
go.
for
Thank
asking.
you.
No, I appreciate it.
Awesome. Nothing else from council? Here. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Is there anyone wishing to speak in favor in person? Anyone online wishing to speak in favor or on the phone? Anything received in favor?
No.
Anyone wishing to speak against in person? Anyone online or on the phone wishing to speak against? Anything received against?
No.
Final call, anyone wishing to ask any questions, make general comments, speak in favor or against, in person, online, or on the phone? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing at 7:05 PM. Do I have a mover? Councilor Lemoine, second. Councilor Bonner-Truck, thank you. Don't you have a reason?
Just give me a second to catch up. You're moving too fast, plus I can't see. And whereas the home-based business conditional use in the RR residential service zone under zoning bylaw 9-2019, and whereas council has considered the application and any representations, therefore be it resolved that the council, or that the conditional use application is approved subject to the following conditions. They shall comply with section 5.3 of the zoning bylaw. The use shall be incidental or secondary in the principal use of the dwelling, and applicant shall sign a signed confirmation letter of this.
Thank you. I'll open up for council discussion, debate. Council, anything to add? Any comment on debate?
No,
Nope.
great, another business in the home,
Good.
all for it, yep.
Big fan of it, for sure. Nothing. Okay, I'll call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? None. That's carried. That's approved. Thank you. Welcome to leave. You can stay and watch the show if you want.
I'm wondering if there's a show tonight?
Not really.
We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know yet.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. 4165-26-8489 Landmark Planning and Design, Inc., 351 residential lots and creation of new roads, public hearing.
So Landmark Planning on behalf of the owners Oak River Meadow Inc. Has made up subdivide 351 residential lots, and a public hearing is required for the whole to be held for the opening of the new public roads resulting from the subdivision.
Thank you. I'll open the public hearing at 7:07 PM. Is there a presentation by the applicant? Come on.
Yes. Just a quick procedural question before
Yep.
we begin. Is there an opportunity to respond to comments made after the presentations?
Yeah, so like I'll do like in favors, against, and then I'll do a final round where you guys would come up and answer. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Great, thank you.
We try and like, I'll try and put questions down and the CEO will try as well, but if you guys can keep that as well, that'd be
Great, appreciate that. Okay. Great. Good evening, Mayor, councilors, and administration. My name is Brendan Johnson. I'm a planner at Landmark Planning and Design. I'm joined by Matt Glavin from Terracon or Oak River Meadow Inc. Thanks for the opportunity to present to you today regarding the second phase, or what we hope to be the second phase of Oak River Meadow. Next slide. Terracon Development and Waterside Development Corp are the developers behind the site. They are local Manitoba developers. Our office is leading the planning and engagement processes, and AECom and Stantec both provided engineering services. Just briefly for context, the first phase of Oak River Meadow, planning for that took place in 2021 and 2022, and it included 71 acres of land immediately south of the existing Ile des Chênes town site. So that application included single-family, two-family, and multi-family homes, new roads, and park space as well. And that application was approved in September of 2022. And next slide, please. And so this application is dealing with the balance of the land south to the Seine River diversion. So this was always thought of as a future second phase of Oak River Meadow, intended to complete the development of this new neighborhood. So the phase 2 area that we're talking about today is bound to the north by phase 1 of Oak River Meadow, to the east by Arnold Road, or that municipal boundary, to the south by Arrowhead RV Park, a residence, and the Seine River diversion, and to the west by PTH 59. The total site is 161 acres for phases 1 and 2. Briefly, for planning and policy context, the McDonald-Reshaw Planning District Development Plan does designate this site as rural center. And as per the plan, rural centers are urban areas that provide a local level of service to serve their own community. And they also have the potential to accommodate higher density and mixed use development. These areas are intended to accommodate the majority of new development to residential development within the planning district. And there are a number of policies applicable to this site that include to accommodate and promote a variety of land uses, including residential and recreational that are conveniently located, well planned and supportive of the needs and interests of the community, to identify and increase opportunities for infill and compact patterns of development, to ensure that new development is contiguous and expands in a logical sequence related to the provision of municipal services, to promote a mix of housing types and densities in close proximity to services, to support a variety of active recreational uses that serve both the local and the regional community. And then lastly, a variety of housing types and tenures shall be accommodated on these lands. The proposed subdivision includes similar uses as with phase 1. So we are looking at a mix of single family, 2-family, and multifamily uses, new parks and paths, as well as roads. And we'll go to the next slide, please. So part of this subdivision, we're looking at 165 single family lots. These are planned primarily on the perimeter of the site and adjacent to future pond and park space. To be sensitive of existing adjacent uses. We are also looking at 182 2-family lots. These are primarily through the center of the neighborhood or internal to the neighborhood, again, respecting existing and adjacent developments. Just briefly for context, I won't spend too much time talking on it because I know it's not part of this hearing. There is an associated rezoning application coming forward at a later date to RG5. So the lot sizes that we're looking at are consistent with the RG5 zone. And the reason that we're doing that is to increase housing choice for future residents of Bildeshane. So proposed single family lot widths range up to 67 feet. Most have a lot area of 6,000 square feet. And then for proposed 2-family lots, they're at least 50 feet in width. And again, closer to 6,000 square feet in area. Here are just some sample homes. So single family, the type that we would expect to see as part of this development, and sample 2-family homes as well. This subdivision also includes 4 multifamily blocks or parcels. These are on the east side of Old PTH 59. There is additional land between Old 59 and New 59 that would be part of the rezoning application, so it's shown on the images, but not part of the subdivision. We are also looking at a total of 10.5 acres of green space that would accommodate active transportation connections to important community features, part of phase 1, and additional lakes and ponds installed would serve as a community feature for the phase 2 area as well. Well-planned sidewalk and pathway network will provide connections onto or into phase 1 as well as into Bildeshane to the north. This will complete an active transportation or continuous active transportation loop for walking and cycling and wheeling. And the proposed pathway is designed to support that for both the local neighborhood and the broader community. And proposed development exceeds typical land dedication requirements. 2 additional road connections are proposed to Old PTH 59 as part of this subdivision. The road network was designed to provide seamless connections into phase 1 of Oak River Meadow, while also discouraging cut-through traffic through the neighborhood. So it's anticipated that most traffic is going to come out to Old 59 north rather than through Oak River Meadow. And then lastly, there are 2 protection strips or lots planned at the easternmost extent of the site where those red arrows are shown on screen. And the protection lots, they're really, really small. They're just about 1 foot in width. And what they'll do is they'll just ensure that if there were ever to be development on the east side of our node in Taché, that those developers would have a conversation with Terracon and their consulting engineers to make sure that they dot their I's and cross their T's before tying into infrastructure that could be developed. The traffic impact study was prepared by AECOM for phase 1, and at that time, it forecasted phase 2 development. That TIS has been reviewed by MTI. The densities that were included in that report for phase 2 are within what's called a tolerance range. So basically, an acceptable level of development is being proposed that the TIS was deemed satisfactory. Because of that, MTI did not require supplemental analysis, but they did ask for a little bit more of an analysis on existing or nearby intersections. That analysis was provided to MTI and showed that the intersections can accommodate forecasted traffic. And the team will continue to work with MTI and the municipality to ensure safe and smooth integration with existing infrastructure. Infrastructure installed for phase 1 of Oak River Meadow was planned to accommodate phase 2 as well. So a lift station, catch basins, water mains, and other water and sewer infrastructure were sized to accommodate the entire Oak River Meadow neighborhood. Detailed design for phase 2 would occur following an approval, and all engineering drawings would be subject to provincial and municipal review. Already touched on the rezoning, so we'll breeze past this one. And there will also be conditional use and a variance application as part of that, just for context to accommodate the multifamily lots and 2-family lots. Let's keep going. In terms of consultation, we did undertake a robust consultation process for Oak River Meadow as a whole, beginning back in 2022. For phase 1, we held 3 rounds of meetings and open houses with Île-des-Chênes residents. In February of 2022, we introduced the project and received feedback. In April of that year, we shared preliminary design concepts and then shared the application concept in June of that year. We followed a very similar process for phase 2, where we had those 3 rounds of open houses with the community beginning in June of 2025 and eventually resulting in the application concept that we shared in December of last year. There were a number of topics raised during the engagement process that we worked to address proactively prior to submitting a development application. Those topics relate to land use adjacency. So there are a variety of housing types proposed, including single family, 2-family, and multifamily uses. A variety of lot sizes are also proposed throughout the neighborhood. The proposed location of new dwellings and lot characteristics does take into account existing and adjacent land uses. The phase 2 plan area will accommodate new roads, pathways, and park spaces similar to phase 1, and opportunities for local scale commercial may continue to be explored in the future. Related to design, if approved, the developers intend to use architectural controls or guidelines to ensure a consistent look and design throughout the entire Oak River Meadow neighborhood. The zoning bylaw regulates the height of buildings, required setbacks, and other bulk standards. Any changes to that are subject to public process. This will be a quality development by a professional developer, and the developer will use quality home builders that are members of the MHBA, or the Manitoba Home Builders Association. For connectivity, if approved, off-street pathways are proposed to connect to phases 1 and 2 of Oak River Meadow and more broadly into Île-des-Chênes. And the active transportation network was designed to provide these connections to link up with the existing sidewalk. In terms of traffic and safety, as mentioned, new road connections to Old 59 are proposed. The traffic review indicates that additional traffic can be managed properly, and we'll continue to work with MTI and the Arm of Free Shot. Similarly, with infrastructure, we'll continue to work with the municipality and engineers regarding water and wastewater infrastructure. An additional land drainage retention pond will be installed in phase 2, which will also serve as a feature for the community. And drainage will be carefully planned so that it does not negatively impact any residents' current situation. And more specifically, given the proximity to the Arrowhead RV Park, which is one of the only adjacent uses in this phase, we worked closely with the owners to understand and be able to respond to their concerns as well. And similarly related to land use is something we wanted to address. We did prepare 4 preliminary land use concepts for this site that did contemplate multifamily abutting the Arrowhead RV Park for a few different reasons. With a multifamily development, you can typically accommodate larger setbacks. There's higher prescriptions or stronger prescriptions for landscaping, for buffering. There's different ways that you can orient parking in buildings to provide that setback distance. Based on conversations we had with concerns for privacy and height and number of neighbors, the lots abutting the RV park or sharing that property line are proposed as single family lots. The lots themselves feature a depth of 145 feet, which is quite deep. It's the deepest being proposed throughout the entire phase 2 area. and that is to respect the existing development that's there and add more of that buffer space and keep uses a little bit further apart. For connectivity, the proposed pathway network was designed to accommodate a connection to the Arrowhead RV Park so that if they chose to, their customers or tenants could access that pathway. And based on conversations, again, we've had about security and privacy, that pathway was not planned to extend further west all the way to 59. Please. There are some noted drainage issues at that property line, which would be resolved by this development. And then additionally, for buffering, a developer fence will be installed along the rear property lines of single family lots, which will provide additional separation and privacy with the 145-foot depth and a required rear yard setback of 20 feet for single family. We do feel that there is significant space for breathing room between the two uses. Ongoing discussion and thought has been given to having additional buffer at the south property line and the treatment of that transition zone between proposed residential uses and the existing RV park. In addition to design considerations that have already been made, we do feel that we have accommodated a buffer already through the planning design considerations that I outlined, with the depths being 145 feet in this location, coupled with this required rear yard setback. It does create a spacing buffer. Buffers come in different forms and can look like different things, but it does create that separation, which is really the intent of having a buffer in that location. And then with the developer fence going up to provide additional privacy and the preservation of as many existing trees in that location as we can, we think we are working to address those concerns. If there was to be additional buffer, the question becomes about what happens with this space. So additional buffer could be accommodated in a number of ways. Through the architectural design guidelines, as mentioned, what the developer could do is accommodate a no build zone in the rear, say 25 feet of those properties. It would keep all accessory buildings or uses further away from that property line. It would limit how people could utilize that property while still maintaining that ownership and that responsibility to maintain their property in good condition, to be a good neighbor, and it would just maintain that accountability. Or alternatively, council could request that a certain amount of the area could be dedicated as public reserve. In that case, say the rear 25 feet of those lots could become public reserve. The municipality would retain ownership. There would be considerations associated with maintenance. But that being said, I'd be on private property, so nothing could be built on that. So it would be guaranteed as that buffer. And it could be used for some sort of amenity or not, but we do feel that it might alleviate or resolve some of the concerns related to adjacency. In summary, we feel this is an excellent proposal for Ildershane and the arm of Reshot. It adheres to the policies of the McDonald Reshot Planning District Development Plan. It is designed to be considerate of existing and adjacent land uses. It's the natural extension of the Oak River Meadow neighborhood, phase 1, and will allow for the completion of the neighborhood south to the Seine River diversion. It will satisfy market demand for new livable neighborhoods. It will increase housing choice for Ildershane residents. It will introduce new pedestrian facilities, pathways, and community features. And there were no concerns raised during the province's circulation of the application.
Thank you, I appreciate that. We do just did one on.
This is just showing the entire neighborhood together. So phases 1 and 2 would be a master plan community, creating a place where roots are planted and connections flourish. And I believe this is the end. Yes. Thank you.
Council comments or questions for the applicant?
No,
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say about the whole buffer, but that seems to be the big topic here, and so it looks like you've addressed a bunch of that. And like you said, some of the, if it turns into green space, what would it be used at? So if it's a pathway, then people are using it as pathway, which means more public going through those areas. So I really appreciate the explanation of what you guys have been trying to do there to alleviate that concern. So thank you.
Councilor Wiltshire?
So width of the current space there right now, the green space?
On the east side there,
Just that jut into to join Arrowhead's RV park.
it's 25 feet.
So we would have the space to do the 25 feet all the way across.
Yeah, so the single family lots that abut are 145 feet in depth. If that extended, it would just reduce the depth of those lots.
Yeah, that was my question too. So at 145 feet, you're butt up against the property line?
It's property line to property line in this case.
Yeah.
It's nice to see an easement and don't put your shed back there, but that's if they come here first. And you don't need a permit for a 10 by 10, so that could end up right at the back. There's not much teeth in a developer agreement with a home, with your builder who can't really legally pass that on to your final homeowner or the next person that moves in there, right? So.
It does come down to the enforcement. It would be a bit of insurance, but to your point, if people are skipping the rules, it becomes enforcement.
So what's the depth? Okay, so the parcel in question, I believe, was parcel 15. And the one immediately to the east, so backing on to the neighbor's property, what's the depth of those properties?
Those ones there are the 145 foot depths.
Go up, north, just north, yeah. Those ones,
Those would be 120.
okay. And they have 25-foot buffers.
That's correct.
But they're single family dwellings.
Single family.
You're basically just showing the options kind of thing, or you're proposing 145 and then 120 plus the 25?
This is what was proposed, and it was responding to concerns about privacy and having people using that space. So in an attempt to have less people occupying that space, kind of using that area, we put the property lines abutting up to the Arrowhead RV Parks property line so that there would be those 11 homes, but you wouldn't have people from the community or elsewhere coming in and using that space. It would be private property. Whereas on the east side of that pathway connection, that was intended to connect our parks and centralized pond space to the standard version. We understand people use that as an route. So that's part of that loop network that we were describing. We thought it was an important connection.
So, sorry, to get a buffer of 25 feet to go right through to the old highway, well, not literally to the highway, but I mean, we'll see with the party concerned. If we limit and mimic the exact properties at 125 feet, you know, would he or she be willing to have a walkway or just straight out buffer where nobody walks? That's something we'll have to ask.
Can you explain the 1 foot width to the east of in Cache land? Can you explain that?
Yeah, so where there would be future right-of-way or could be future right-of-way, if the land on the east side of our node was ever to develop, it's possible that there could be roadway connections aligning with where the roads are shown in this development.
Right.
So the 1 foot lot, it's just an assurance or a security that that developer, they would have a conversation with Terracon about tying into their services, making sure that the engineering work was done properly. And it would just give that assurance that their investment and the work that they've done is being upheld.
I would say it's common in other jurisdictions where, exactly to that point, if we did not develop the lands to the east and there was another developer that developed there, and there was tie-ins into our development, then there should be recoveries. That's sort of standard practice, I would say, within the city of Winnipeg, of the protection that there is, and it's vetted by an engineer of what percentage, proportionate share that those recoveries should be.
I guess I'm just not understanding why 1 foot.
Well, it's not a buildable lot.
Of 1 foot.
You can't build on the
No,
lot.
I know that.
Yeah.
Okay. But then there's properties on either side
It's within the right of way.
Yeah, so it would just need to be legally opened as part of a future subdivision application if those lands were to develop.
Okay, that's it.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Okay, is there anyone in person that's wishing to speak in favor? Anyone online? Oh, sorry. Okay, come on up. Bill?
All family on the way.
Now remember, if you yell, I'm gonna slam this, okay? I'm just sign the sheet?
Yeah.
If you guys could sign that sheet right there, that'd be great. You guys are okay on that, but I'll sign it for you. Whenever you're ready. So I gave him 12 minutes, just so you know, so I'm gonna extend it to 12 minutes to everyone else.
Thank you.
I am a nice guy.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and members of council. My name is Lise Durand-Bale. Deschênes is my childhood home and has always held a special place in my heart. 12 years ago, my husband Bruce and I had the opportunity to return to the community when we purchased Arrowhead RV Park, a decision that remains deeply meaningful to us today. We operate a commercial recreational RV park that primarily serves tourists seeking prairie landscapes, open views, and convenient access to the city and surrounding regional attractions. We have been a stable, long-standing, tax-paying business in this community for over 2 decades. During the past 20-plus years, Arrowhead RV Park has built a strong reputation, consistently earning high guest ratings for delivering exceptional service. In 2018, we were honored to receive the Entrepreneur of the Year award from the Richat Chamber of Commerce. These accomplishments reflect the broader value we provide to the region as a tourism business that helps sustain and strengthen local economic activity. Our RV park contributes meaningfully to Deschênes and the rural municipality of Richat by attracting visitors who support local businesses, restaurants, and services from April through October each year. We see this project as an opportunity to support not only thoughtful residential growth, but also responsible economic development. Deschênes has the potential to be more than a bedroom community of Winnipeg. It can grow into a thriving town with a balanced mix of residential and commercial development that benefits everyone. With that shared vision in mind, we respectfully encourage council to protect and strengthen our established tourism business by incorporating appropriate mitigation measures into phase 2 of Oak River Meadow. The current concept plan proposes approximately 11 residential lots directly adjacent to our northern boundary, with little or no buffering or transition. This leads to a significant incompatibility between our commercial tourism operation and the new permanent residential homes. Our RV park generates seasonal customer activity, vehicle traffic, outdoor recreation, and associated noise levels typical of a destination RV park. While future residents of Oak River Meadow will expect a more quiet and private residential environment. Without proper separation, this interface is likely to generate ongoing conflicts and negatively affect both our guests' experience and the quality of life of future residents. If the roles were reversed and a proposal were made to establish an RV park immediately adjacent to existing residential properties, common concerns would typically include noise, traffic, privacy, lighting, and overall compatibility of land uses. Similar considerations should apply in this case to ensure a balanced and appropriate transition between uses. In addition, this configuration would place pressure on the existing mature tree line, which currently provides natural screening and privacy. It would also introduce new residential development in close proximity to our well, raising further operational and compatibility considerations. There are already concerns regarding consistency in how buffering is being applied within the current plan. We operate on approximately 5 acres of commercial property, while our neighbor to the east, who owns approximately 3 acres of residential land, is proposed to receive natural privacy barriers on 2 sides, a walking path on the north and a substantial tree screen on the east. By contrast, our property is proposed to receive almost no equivalent buffering. We respectfully ask why we are not given equal consideration. Looking forward, we also note that commercial development is planned to the west of our property. For consistency and long-term compatibility across all adjacent uses, proper buffering will be important on that side as well. For clarity, our request for proper buffering and land use transition measures is not new. We have raised the need for appropriate separation, buffering, and compatibility measures with Terracon and landmark planning since well before Phase 1 began, and we have had multiple discussions on this topic over several years. We raised concerns during the December 2022 open house regarding the 4 development concepts presented, none of which included a meaningful buffer between the proposed residential lots in our property, despite the fact the overall concept plan specifically identified our lands and our neighbor's property as context, sensitive land uses abutting existing developments. A recent meeting on May 7th with the developer allowed us to again discuss the necessity of transition space. The application currently before council still proposes residential lots directly adjacent to our boundary with little meaningful separation. When our RV park was approved over 20 years ago, it was evaluated as compatible with the surrounding agricultural land. We are now facing a completely different situation with new residential development being proposed directly against our boundary. Responsible land use planning requires appropriate due diligence to accommodate and ensure compatibility with existing long-established businesses such as ours. Given the difference in land uses and the long-term compatibility concerns this creates, we therefore respectfully ask Council to require one of 2 reasonable solutions that follow both the McDonald-Reach-Up Planning District policies on land use compatibility and buffering between different uses, and the common planning practice of including a buffer when sensitive land uses abut an existing development. Either a 50-foot landscape public reserve with dense trees and shrubs using an impenetrable Miyawaki method or equivalent planting technique, together with an 8-foot privacy fence installed and maintained on the development side, or the relocation of one of the proposed retention ponds to serve as a natural public reserve transition along our full boundary, combined with a dense tree planting where the pond does not span the entire length of our property. Our request is also informed by our experience during Phase 1, where several significant operational and safety issues arose. Our only access was blocked on multiple occasions by equipment and building material, creating not only operational challenges, but also eliminating our sole emergency access route, including school bus pickup. On one particularly alarming occasion, a 24-inch plus diameter septic pipe used to block our access was later lifted directly over an occupied RV with guests inside. We had suggested an alternate construction route using land to the east of the existing properties, which would have avoided blocking our access and significantly reduced safety risks. This option was not used. In another incident, a construction truck struck a power line, causing a full-day outage and resulting in loss of clientele. We have also lost 4 seasonal clients due to the ongoing construction disturbances. Persistent mud on Major Trail and Old Path 59 was repeatedly tracked into our park, damaging our clean limestone surfaces. It also prevents our clients, as well as our own children, family, and friends, from safely walking to Idishane to access local services. Similar safety concerns have been raised by residents on Rosie Bloom Lane, as reported in the Niverville Citizen. To address both the compatibility concerns and the safety and operational problems we have already experienced, we respectfully request council to direct the following conditions be included in the development agreement for phase 2, and that all of these measures be fully implemented prior to the commencement of any construction in phase 2. One of the buffer options described earlier, fully installed and completed as the very first stage of construction before any residential building or site preparation occurs adjacent to our property. Nuisance easements to protect our park from future complaints regarding normal RV park activities. A comprehensive safety and operations management plan that guarantees continuous emergency access, the prevention of construction traffic on major trail, and uninterrupted access for our guests and operational vehicles so that our business can continue to operate normally and remain profitable. Formal recognition of Arrowhead RV Park as an established tourism asset, acknowledging the RV park's role as a critical provider of tourist accommodation and its sustained contribution to the regional visitor economy. We are not opposed to development. We simply ask that it be carried out safely, fairly, and with respect for existing businesses and the natural features of our property so that both the new development and our tourism operation can thrive. These concerns are not unique to us. We are grateful for the strong support we have received from organizations within Manitoba and Canada's tourism and camping industry. We have received letters from Colin Ferguson, President and CEO of Travel Manitoba, as well as from the Canadian Camping and RV Association and the Tourism Industry Association of Manitoba, all recognizing the importance of preserving and protecting tourism operations like ours. We are also encouraged by the broader support expressed by other tourism and economic development organizations that recognize the value of maintaining compatible land use relationships with existing tourism businesses. We believe the protections we have outlined will allow both the new residential community and our long-established tourism business to coexist successfully and contribute to a thriving Île-des-Chênes for years to come. Thank you for your time. We have handouts for the presentation, and we'll be pleased to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Council, any comments or questions at this time? Thank you very much. Councilor Pelletier.
Processing. How many of the current trees are maybe not on your property?
Most of them are. They were planted as kind of the line. So when you look at the pegs on the property, most of them are on our side. Some of them have like overgrown a little bit onto the other side, but yeah.
Anyone else on council? Councilor Pelletier processes?
The concern with the safety, I think most of that's all the big pipes are in. As far as blocking their road anymore, I don't think there's anything left there. That's it for right now.
Anyone else, council?
I just want to say I appreciate the effort you're putting into all of this, and yeah. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Is there anyone else in person wishing to speak in favor? Anyone online or on the phone? Oh, come on up. Sorry. I'll get you to come up. Just your name, and then if you could sign in, that'd be great.
I don't need 10 minutes, but
Well, you can have 12.
I just wanted, my name is Sharon Brooks. If you had a picture of that development. We occupy the little triangle that is exactly between phase 1 and phase 2 on the Shea side of Arnold. And we are neighbors then to Arrowhead Park. And I just I just wanted to add just a tiny bit to what Lise had said. Fantastic presentation. I note that the company has 10.5 acres set aside for green space. And Lise already mentioned that perhaps one solution could be to just move the green space around and perhaps have a pond there. But I did a little bit of research in particular on the idea of mini forest there. And I just wanted to bring that to council. I think it goes without saying that there are all kinds of values that we are aware of when it comes to forest, urban canopy, ecological, climate values, sustainability, diversity, habitat, carbon storage, flood control. We could go on about those kinds of things. I think sometimes what we forget about are the cultural services that mini forests provide. We're all about green spaces and parks and retention ponds, and we do those well in our new developments, but we're a little behind the times when it comes to canopy. And urban forests have become a very prominent topic now Canada-wide as relates to municipal policy and decision-making across our country. So for example, there are several Canadian cities that have set some ambitious urban forest canopy goals. Among them, Vancouver, Halifax, Montreal, Ottawa, and Winnipeg have all committed to greater than 25% by 2030, which isn't that far down the road anymore. Toronto has set an even more ambitious goal of 40% canopy by 2050. They want to be one of the most forested cities in Canada. The benefits to humans, of course, who directly or indirectly interact with trees for aesthetic reasons, recreational reasons, the restorative value, are already beginning to be talked about in terms of mental health and mental wellness. So I thought the Miyawaki Forest idea was just an absolutely terrific one. And you know, perhaps council could be on the cutting edge of being one of the more urban forest minded in Manitoba thus far, along with these other cities that have these goals. You know, maybe Ile des Chênes could become one of the more canopied cities as well. And in terms of the desirability of those properties there, rather than having an almost unenforceable use of the backyard. Yeah, you've got a great long backyard, but you can't use the last few feet of it. Good luck with that. Wouldn't those properties have much greater value if they were backed onto a beautiful little mini forest with, you know, trees and birds and possibly even wild fruit and all those good things? I just would like that taken into consideration.
Any questions? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Anyone else online, in person, or on the phone wishing to speak in favor? Received in favor. Is there anyone in person wishing to speak against? Anyone online, on the phone, wishing to speak against? Anything received against? No. Okay, last call. Anyone wishing to make any general comment, ask any general questions, or speak in favor or against, online, on the phone, or in person? Okay, did the applicant want to come up and answer or make any comment? You can sign in while there too.
I'll start. Just wanted to say thanks again for the opportunity to come back up. And we do appreciate all of the ongoing conversations that we've been having with Lise and Bruce at Arrowhead RV. We understand that this is abutting them, it's impacting them, it's their business, it's their home, and we respect that and we understand that. And we do recognize the value that Arrowhead provides to Ile-des-Chênes. We have worked to address land use concerns. We do think that single family is a compatible use for the reasons that we heard and the things that we were trying to address related to issues with privacy, security, and access. It may not address every concern, but it is sensitive to the conversations that we had and what we were hearing. At the same time, with this plan, we want to respect the development plan policies and what the land is designated to be used for. And we think that this plan does a great job of balancing the vision and the intent of that development plan while still providing that sensitivity and that transition. In terms of a pond in that location, servicing, it makes it really complex. It's not necessarily feasible to put the pond abutting that location. It typically becomes an amenity. In this case, if it was heavily forested, you couldn't actually use it in that way. We've really tried to centralize all of the park space so that it's accessible to everyone throughout the neighborhood and throughout Ile-des-Chênes. But that being said, public reserve in this location could make sense. If it's densely planted, there could be issues with maintenance and access. But we do think that it could serve as that buffer. It would guarantee that it wasn't built on and those sorts of things. The ask is for 50 feet. We think we can accommodate 25 feet with the rear yard setbacks of 20. It does bring it up to 45 feet between where the homes would be and that property line. Developer fence, we think we could accommodate, as mentioned earlier in our presentation as well. And then I did just want to acknowledge that there were a couple of issues regarding construction nuisances and impacts. We have worked to address those quickly, respond quickly whenever those have come up, and we'll continue to do so.
The only thing I would add to that is all of our offsite infrastructure is in place at this point, and the incidents that did occur were during that time of us installing the mainland drainage pipe or the force main that was going to the lagoon. Within this phase, there is no offsite regional infrastructure, if you will. Everything would be internal. So there would be no need to have any sort of interruption, if you will. Happy to have security with that, of placing that kind of language within a development agreement. I know there was a comment as well about nuisance. Again, happy to have some language, at least acknowledging the existing use within a development agreement. Happy to put that in as well.
Okay. Council, any questions?
Just to clarify, and I know you might have mentioned it, but well, maybe not the large, but the orange parcels are for future commercial?
They're shown as multifamily. We're open to exploring opportunities for some commercial in the future. The property on the west side of Old 59 at this point is being block planned. So the exact plans, we don't know. We're still looking at possibilities and what that looks like.
So more specifically, block 12 or the orange closest to the RV park. You already have it as development. It's not as if we can ask you to maybe put up I don't know, quick math, like 6 multifamily lots and sacrifice the whole southern part.
I'm not sure I fully understand what you're saying.
There's 11 properties in question right now. That seems to be a concern for the RV park. So you can probably fit on block it looks like block 12, so down the southern part of the orange, you can probably fit 5 lots there. Look at that, it's green right here. How many lots you figure you can fit there in comparison to here? What I'm getting at is if you can fit, I don't know, 7 or 8 lots into here, well, and sacrifice all this, at least you're still, I mean, yeah, you're not getting the both worlds to getting all this in lots and all that in future lots. I'm just wondering, how wide do we have here?
I don't believe that that's a very wide parcel. And it's not also a very large parcel. It's an awkward sort of shape.
Okay.
I would anticipate that that's likely going to be some form of townhome product. Not necessarily, say, subdivided into lots. That may just be sort of a condoized project. And I don't anticipate that it's going to be overly dense, just given the configurations of the parcel itself.
If I could just make further to comment on that. You say you can sacrifice 25 feet, but the ask is 50 feet. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is still a field,
This site is vacant, yeah.
right?
Yes.
So there are no roads. There's nothing in right now.
Correct.
Go back to the drawing board.
There,
I'm just curious,
Yeah.
did Lisa and Bruce bring up these options to you? I'm sure they brought these options to you, so I'm just wondering why you couldn't redesign it, push things forward. I know it's not simple, but I would think it's doable, having the fact that it's a big empty canvas to work with right now. So I'm just seeing if there's some give and take.
yeah, it's a good point. There's a few different things there. So with phase 1 being installed, there's certain locations where we need to align roads and different services, which does inform the connections into phase 2, the location of the ponds into phase 2. And that leftover space is where you look at developing the rest of the roads and the blocks and making sure that you meet the minimum depths and sizes. So it's a bit more nuanced than that. I think even in that case, we still wouldn't suggest the very corner of the site is where the PR would go. Just because we do want that to be centralized. We see it as that community benefit for the community as a whole, for Oak River Meadow and Ile des Chênes. I think we would still have sought to centralize that PR space. And then again, as mentioned, we have been working with Arrowhead to alleviate concerns, to respond to concerns, and we do think that this design is context sensitive. So it's not that they asked for it, they just didn't do it. It's that there were a number of concerns. This responds to a number of the concerns that we heard, just not to every single one.
This seems like a pretty big one, though. I'm just saying that.
The only other thing I would add with respect to that eastern PR that runs north-south, it is somewhat wider. That is strategic in that it's leading to major trail. It is part of our interconnected pathway system, and it will become, say, a rest area, a stop that probably will have amenity features. That was the rationale for keeping that area wider.
And just to clarify, on the eastern side of that existing dwelling is where Matt's talking about.
Yep, thanks.
We'll agree with you on one thing about, I'm not convinced about the pond, having lived on the farm with 2 ponds. When the frogs are doing their thing, it gets very noisy. And literally, when the geese fly south, they tend to lessen their load in flight right over at RV Park. Anyways, I know the diversion, there's noises there too but again, I just throwing that out there. So maybe an alternative to trees would be nicer with the walkway.
Anything else? Kind of with Janine and Joelle, like I don't think a pond would be good there. I mean, I seasonal camp at a different location. I like being away from the water just because of
noises, birds, all that. So I agree with Joel 100% on that, but I mean, even if you have a 2-story house there, if somebody's in their upstairs bedroom, you're looking right down on the RV park on above those trees looking down on it. And you do kind of like, personally, when I camp, I like privacy. I don't want people looking at what I'm doing. That's my quiet time, alone time, decompress time. They're already going to be getting a lot of noise from the additional traffic and such, but that is as part of a development, but it's also working together to make it successful for both parties, right? I know it's 11 lots, but man, I'd love to see that just left as space for,
An urban.
yeah, like, I mean, urban forest, I can't say. Hey, thanks, guys, thanks. Urban forest, I can't say for sure, right? Because it might not work, but just even to start with something just as green space, just left the way it is for now, and working together to find some sort of use, because 25, yeah, that's, yeah, just what I gotta say for now.
Okay, anything else? Did you guys have any response to that or no?
I would say extending that 25 feet would certainly assure the preservation of those trees, which I believe is somewhat of the main issue from not only noise, but from sight lines, you name it, they are rather large trees. The other thing on the point of trees in and of itself, we have plans to plant hundreds of trees within this neighborhood. That would be not only boulevard trees, but also public reserve trees. Trees will be a big component of this whole area. I think by extending that 25 feet, we would achieve that buffer.
Extending it to what?
The west to
The current mark.
Old 59.
Okay.
The only other comment I would make with respect to between Old 59 and New 59, albeit this area is contemplated for multifamily / commercial, we have been in conversations with DFSM about the concept of attracting them for a new school, potentially a 10-acre site. And we would be willing to hold back a parcel for a period of 5 years to ensure that we can have dialogue for the acquisition of school site.
Okay, thanks, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna close the public hearing at 8:03 PM. Do I have a mover? Councillor Pelletier, second, Councillor LeMoine.
So whereas applicant Landmark Planning and Design has, on behalf of the owners of River Meadow, has made application to subdivide, and whereas a public hearing has been held for the opening of new public roads resulting from the subdivision, whereas the McDonald-Grishot Planning District recommends approval, and whereas the Provincial Community Planning Services recommends approving the subdivision proposal with conditions. The conditions at this point in time are applicant must enter into a development agreement with the municipality. A zoning bylaw amendment is required to rezone the property from AL to RG5. Public reserve areas must be rezoned from AL to PR. Variance orders are required to vary the minimum site widths of all lots that do not comply with the RG5 zone requirements. And applicant must obtain conditional use orders for all proposed 2-family and multifamily dwellings. If there's additional conditions that council would like to apply, then those are an option as well. Whether that's the buffer, I do know that MTI talked about a traffic study, but Matt and Brennan had indicated that they provided that, so.
Okay. I'll open up for council debate. You'll start.
I know we're here about the roads, we're here for the roads, opening up the roads, but I think, so just correct me if I'm wrong, this plan is carved in stone if we approve the roads, opening of the roads where they are showing them?
Essentially, I guess you could reduce lots, but
Because it
I
goes
would
back
have to see if you can do that through this process. I'm not sure, no? April?
Yeah, for sure. You can, require some additional. So you approve this subdivision with conditions. And you can postpone your decision to another meeting to decide what those conditions are. You could decide on them right now as well.
Sorry, April, did you want to introduce yourself?
I'm April North Regional Manager with Community Planning in Portage Prairie. Sorry, I'm sitting at the back.
Thank you for that.
I was looking for Jan. I didn't see Tannis.
Well-
Moving. I'm like, what?
I'm just concerned that because if they are carved in stone and I'm still not sold on 25 being the only buffer or the adequate buffer amount. I would like to see, like Jason was saying, even if we give 25, you can have a 2-story house on those lots. Like I would still like to see a bigger buffer there myself. So this is why I don't know we should approve these road locations. But if we can put in a condition subject to future discussions on the buffer zone, I'd be okay with that.
So as April mentioned, we can also table the decision to have further conversations about that buffer zone too as well. Or other conditions that you might want to see.
If we can put a condition in for that and that would satisfy it, I think I'd like to do that rather than tabling it and going through the whole process again, or table it.
Like a specific buffer.
Well, just a condition to say that this design, yes, we're open to having roads being built in this area, but on the condition that we're discussing where those roads will be.
I'm kind of at the point, sorry, can I
Does that
jump
make
in
sense?
too?
Absolutely.
Like I'm thinking, I'm fine where the roads are because even when we're talking about that buffer block right there that we're talking about, the houses next to that, people still need to drive to them. So that road's gonna be there no matter what. What we feel about that, I think it's lot 15, I'm sorry, I can't remember what's going on with that in the buffer, but as far as the roads are, I don't see an issue with that, because that road's gonna have to be there no matter what, or those people are going.
Well, I agree. I just wondered if redesigning had to be done because of that, like if they need to recapture those 11 homes. Maybe,
Sorry, yeah, no.
maybe the public reserve could be changed or the ponds could be changed a little bit. I don't know. It could be, like, that's why I said this is a blank slate. It could be redone. So that's why I worry if we say these roads have to be here, then they're really locked.
No, that's fair.
That's the only reason I was saying that.
25-foot forest with 6-foot fence on the back and conditions that everything is a single level home on that stretch. The concern is who's keeping track, who's gonna clean up the 25-foot buffer, who's gonna clean up a 50-foot buffer, if the concern is people are walking through it. If there's a path there, no problem, we give it to Public Works and our Parks Department. If we're looking for just a forest, everyone's gonna be complaining about mosquitoes. I think we can get a big enough buffer on the 25 feet and we don't path it and your only route is down to Major. And once we figure out what our rec master plan is, coming soon to a community center near you, how to tie that all in.
Okay, so we've got two options here, before I say anything else. Counselor Wynn, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, just, well, I kind of wish that one of the objectives or the options would have been just a 25-foot sidewalk buffer, trees. I think it's part of the development plan, not today's discussion, but I think the whole north and east should be fenced off, 6-foot fence. And just another side note, if the things were switched and the development was in place, and a business would have come and say, I'd like to set up X amount of RV lots right next door, you'd have a hell of a lot more than 11 complainers. So this should be no different than you have an existing business in place and development needs to accommodate, just like we would entice a business to do.
We can also do a recognition easement where an easement on those lots, recognizing that they are living next to an RV park. Basically give it no basis to be able to complain Because John wants to have his fire at 8 o'clock on a Saturday morning.
The resident or the RV park?
The RV park. If the fire ban's not in effect.
And it's an approved bid.
Okay. Okay, so we've got two options here. Councillor Boulanger, you're recommending,
I'd like to see the 50-foot zone. I don't see why it couldn't have been
okay, and Councillor,
considered a bit more, that's all.
I know, but who's gonna buy a house with an 8-foot fence? Which is what was proposed.
Behind them?
Yeah.
I would. It's gonna be blocking. I don't see.
well, I would agree with Councillor Boulanger. I wouldn't.
Well, these are just opinions.
No, I know.
Not really, that's not a, that's not a valid fact to base it.
So I think we have to have a amendment vote. Added in because it's not friendly. Am I wrong? Right? So
Again, we can either table it or we can add conditions. So if agreed upon conditions, and if they're not,
we have to vote on that condition,
yeah, then you would have to take it.
right? So we're gonna vote on the conditions. We're gonna step outside here. Currently, we're gonna vote on adding the condition that it's 50-foot buffer,
That's my
That's your
request, but,
request.
yeah.
because I think voting on 27 makes sense. And we either defeat it or not. And then we would vote on, if it got defeated, we would vote on.
Next phase of this discussion is next month. We can table this and we'll just continue some conversation with all parties involved.
Council want to table it?
Sure, I'd be good with that.
1,
I think we
2,
have pretty differing opinions and it'd just be easier for us to all talk.
Mhm.
1, 2, table, 3, okay. Majority's tabled, we'll table.
And then we'll just have everything next month and
Mhm.
hopefully we've got everything sorted out by then.
Okay, we're gonna table a decision. Have to set a date.
7
June 2nd,
No,
no, 7th or 20th, right?
Well, it's not,
Today's the 20th.
there's no public engagement for the next one. No public hearing, right? It's just the decision.
Yeah, because the public hearing's closed.
Public hearing.
Closed. Yeah.
Closed. Still making the night one, if someone wants to listen. So June 17th is the decision.
and then the subsequent other items we need to discuss on this parcel.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so we'll table the decision till June 17th. That's that decision. We'll give it a 2-minute break if you guys want to leave. Right now, if you're unsure, you can ask questions quickly of how this process is going to work. You have any questions on the process?
So you said June 2nd?
17th.
Are we gonna be involved in this process then?
Public hearing is closed, so now we're gonna go back, trying to figure out what's gonna work. And then we'll come back June 17th as council and vote. There will be no more public engagement like we did tonight.
So there'll be
Will you-
nothing
will
with
you-
Derek-on or?
You'll be involved in the discussion. Yeah, you'll be involved in the discussion.
That's what I was planning. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, okay.
He's all bones. Now, sweat go in.
Right.
People just wanted to come.
Oh, I got it under council calendar. I don't know.
This is like what I heard here is.
Hey.
Thank you.
Well, the subdivision.
Sorry, guys, can you guys sneak into that room?
Yeah.
Sorry.
And Thomas, just shut the door.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Just
Yeah.
talking about the bylaw, whether it can get first approval or. first
Yeah,
reading.
can you let us know?
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
There's a bylaw that would go first reading down the agenda. So we're trying to figure out if that still needs
Okay,
to
well,
happen.
we'll pass that. We'll
until
figure
they
it
come
out.
back, yeah.
Okay, item 7, committee reports and minutes. Do I have a mover? Counselor Bodnar, second Counselor Lemoine. We have Richard Library from Counselor Bodnar. Anything on that? Nothing. Call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? None. That's carried. No department reports, no finance. Oh, yeah, still department finance. 9.1 accounts paid to be approved. Do I have a mover? Counselor Belanger, second Counselor Pelletier. Go ahead, Mr. Seal.
The batch summary has been uploaded. If there's any questions, please let me know. So the first two batches, 564 for 21,000 and batch 600 for 7,100.
Thank you. Comments from council? Questions? None. Call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? None. That's carried. 9.2 accounts not paid to be approved. Do I have a mover? Counselor Bondarchuk, second Counselor Pelletier.
So two batches here, 608 for 325,000 and 609 for 26,000. There was a question from Councillor Pelletier about the Southern Comfort, and that was for the Oldeshane Fire Hall for servicing the heat pumps at the fire hall. So, yes.
Yes, we will look into getting everybody on the
Same page, yes.
same provider,
Thank you.
the same local provider.
Anything else?
Southern Comfort is local.
Oh, they are coming.
Oh. They were. Okay, call for the question. All in favor? Opposed? None. That's carried. 9.3 payroll to be approved. Do I have a mover? Counselor Belanger, second Counselor Lemoine.
Two payrolls there. If there's any questions about those, please let me know.
Thank you. Comments, questions? Call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? None. That's carried. 9.4 financial information return. Do I have a mover? Counselor Pelletier, second Counselor Bondarchuk.
So this is a requirement from the provincial government. So whereas the Municipal Act requires a municipality must no later than March 15th each year submit to the minister a financial information return in a form approved by the minister respecting the financial affairs of the municipality for the preceding year. So these are not our audited statements. We're still completing our audit, but this is that financial information return. So the numbers that you see in that financial information return may vary slightly depending on what our final audit comes out at. So,
Thank
What was
you.
the deadline on?
March 15th.
yes.
Okay, call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? None. That's carried. The first one I can do. Or-
The first one you can do. This is for the fire hall.
Okay, 10.1 bylaw 4, 2026 rezone from AL to CG, first reading. Do I have a mover? Counselor Bondarchuk, second Counselor Pelletier.
Sorry, just getting this down. So now for the whereas it is deemed necessary to and expedient to amend the rural municipality zoning bylaw 9-2019. Now therefore, the rural municipality reshot in meeting duly and disabled enacts as follows. It's a rough night. Zoning maps 1 and 3 of the RM zoning bylaw as shown and outlined in blue in the attached map. As Schedule A that forms this bylaw is hereby rezoned from AL Agricultural Limited Zone to CG Commercial General Zone as part of Parcel A Plan Number 34611. And as mentioned, this is to be done so that we can build the Oldeshane Fire Hall.
Perfect. Love it. Questions from council?
Is Peter done?
Do it. All those in favor? Opposed? None. That's carried. We're gonna skip 10.2 for now.
We are.
Just a 2-minute break.
2-minute break. Get some clarification, to get some clarification. Thank you. Yes.
How about it? Yeah, first reading is good. You know, I think your first reading of the rezoning.
Okay.
Perfect.
You choose.
So we're gonna just not take that 2-minute break. And we're gonna go to 10.2 bylaw 5, 2026 rezone from AL to RG5 and PR first reading. Do I have a mover? Counselor Belanger, second. Counselor Lemoine.
Now therefore, the arm of Richot, as per zoning maps 1 and 3 are hereby amended in order that the area described as follows, as shown and outlined in blue in the map attached to Schedule A, to rezone the areas from AL Agricultural Limited Zone to RG5 Residential General Zone and PR Parks Recreation Zone for part of northeast and southeast quarter 33,814.
Council comments, questions? First reading. Right here.
So. Well, yeah, if this changes, no, we still got 2 other readings.
Okay. Call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed, none, that's carried. 12.1, right?
Yep.
12.1.1, 4165-26-8484, Franz Hubner, Dean's Law Office, 1 Lot Utility. Do I have a mover? Councilor Bonner-Chuck, second, Councilor Pelletier.
Again, so this is to subdivide, the subdivision had expired. We had dealt with this 3 times now, I think. The building is already built in there, but the subdivider has expired, yeah. So to subdivide 0.26 acres parcel to allow for the installation of telecommunications equipment storage for Valley Fiber.
Okay, council comments, questions? Call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed, none, that's carried. 12.1.2, 4165-26-8487, Trans-Canada Pipeline 1 Lot Fire Hall. Do I have a mover? Councilor Pelletier, second, Councilor Boulanger.
So the registered owner TransCanada has made application to subdivide a 2.81 acre lot for the purpose of a new fire hall in Ile-des-Chênes, whereas both the McDonald Richat Planning District and the Provincial Community Planning Services recommends approving subdivision.
Thank you. Comments, council, questions?
So just so my brain doesn't start bleeding. If we could do these in reverse, so we actually have a lot first before we do the zoning, that'd be great.
Okay.
Oh.
Is there a reason why we lot before we rezone? We went zoning and then relot. Yeah.
I'm not, sorry.
I think it's just because it's the order that our default
Agenda is in.
agenda is in, so.
Oh.
We rezoned,
Yeah.
we rezoned, and then we created the lot after.
Oh, no.
Really, we should have done reversed.
Yes.
So everything's invalid. We have to restart the whole meeting. Bring the people
For future consideration.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, call for the question.
So just weird question there, but the property is immediate north of the proposed is owned by TransCanada also?
Yeah,
Oh,
and it's being farmed right now,
yeah,
and
no,
will be into the future, I imagine.
I thought it had, so, okay.
Oh, yes.
Okay, call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed, none, that's carried. 12.2.1, April 2026 building permit reports. Do I have a mover? Councilor Bonner-Chuck, second, Councilor Pelletier.
So I'll leave out the total value because we've done that a few times now,
No.
but
Please.
Oh,
Share. Share.
no,
All
Yeah.
year's gonna be this, so.
$244 million.
Thank you.
Total permits issued to date, 105 as compared to 73 last year. So while the value is obviously substantially higher, I think the total number is an important number to obviously view. And so again, it continues to be a very busy spring
Nice.
for our building inspectors.
That does put us
And
in the
planner.
1 billion mark, though. Can we just mention that? Yeah, that's good to hear. Perfect. And from council, public question, all those in favor? Opposed, none, that's carried. And moving on to any in camera, council, do we have any in camera to go over? Nothing. Okay, item 15, adjournment. Do you have a mover?
Can I mention something before?
Yes.
Just, I thought it'd be important to say, next Thursday evening from 6 PM on, yes, there's Hometown Harmonies that will get started, but there's also St. Agat's 150th anniversary. So everybody is welcome for hamburger, hot dogs, cake, and then followed by the Hometown Harmony festivities.
That's next Thursday.
28th.
Okay, and then the 29th, 30th is the Grand Point big party as well, so start
Party
partying.
coming up.
Perfect. 150 years, that's a huge deal. So,
That is
yeah,
big.
awesome. Very cool.
That is huge.
Did you want to do that in French as well, Joel? So it's on the record that you did it in both official languages?
Yeah, sure. Jeudi prochain, le 28 mai, on va avoir Hometown Harmonies, qui est un festival et puis de la musique. Mais avant ça, à partir de 18h, on va avoir une fête pour le 150e de Sainte-Agathe et la paroisse qui va être où il y a on sait, une boat launch, où ce que les bateaux ils sont sur la rue principale. Et puis, il va y avoir un peu de nourriture, gâteau, puis suivi par la musique. Alors, merci bien, vous êtes le bienvenu.
Merci beaucoup. Okay. Call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? That is carried. I close the meeting at 8:25 PM. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a great rest of your day. And